S tim da moraju biti iz različitih grupa, odnosno prvi i drugi dio moraju biti
The women's
različiti.
vault final will be the next order of business in Osijek, and the top performer in qualification will go fifth in the order, France's Colleen Deviat. The World Championship bronze medalist on vault in 2022 and part of the French team that finished third the following year in Antwerp. And what a special moment to welcome Julia Weissenhofer of Liechtenstein to international finals. The 16-year-old making history for her nation. Before we introduce the finalists, a special mention goes to Taya Belak, the first reserve, who's just come back after the birth of her second child, Mia, last year. After Mai was born a couple of years before that. She's done brilliantly to make a comeback for the second time. The veteran Slovenian nearly made it into the final as well, just by a matter of about a tenth or so shy of a place in this women's vault final. But we look forward to seeing Taya Belak back in international finals in due course. It's bound to happen because it's Taya Belak, it's what she does. The next medal will be number 25 for her in World Cup competition. She's just won number 25, did it last week. Sasha Kiselev will get us underway in the vault final, the sixth best in qualification, but somebody who has the potential to get onto the podium. The 30-year-old has won 25 World Cup medals. Tijana Korent of Croatia. It wouldn't be an Osijek competition without her, the 34-year-old gymnast. She won the title in Varna last year, 13 years after her first World Cup title. A first ever World Challenge Cup final for Klára Peterková of the Czech Republic, the seventh best in qualification. Congratulations to the 17-year-old from the northeast of the country.
The fourth finalist representing Great Britain, Abigail Martin.
Just a couple of weeks away from her 16th birthday, Great Britain's Abigail Martin, the third best in qualification. The gymnast who was the silver medalist on vault at the British Championships.
The fifth finalist representing France, Colleen Deviat.
And here is the top performer from qualification, the reigning champion of Europe. France's Colleen Deviat, who won the title in Antalya at the European Championships last year and who was the World Championship third place gymnast the year before.
Representing Liechtenstein, Julia Weissenhofer.
Welcome to a new face. Huge congratulations to Liechtenstein's Julia Weissenhofer on making her inaugural World Challenge Cup final debut. The 16-year-old has done her country proud.
The seventh finalist representing Hungary, Greta Mayer.
A very experienced vaulter coming up next, despite the fact she's only 18. Greta Mayer of Hungary. She is the reigning national champion.
The eighth finalist representing the Czech Republic, Patricia Makovičková.
And we will finish with Patricia Makovičková of the Czech Republic, the fifth best performer in qualification. The gymnast who got very close to a medal at the Doha World Cup last year. She is just 17.
The first four finalists will have one touch warm-up now. They can do 3 vaults each. You may start warming up.
Dakle, prve 4
2
finalistice.
vaults in the finals. Dakle, 2 preskoka ima svaka za zagrijavanje.
Sad smo sve pojasnili na oba jezika.
The first four gymnasts will be the 6th, 4th, 7th and 3rd best performers in qualification, but keep an eye very closely on Sasha Kiselev because her qualification execution scores were not really representative of what we know she can do in World Cup finals. So if ever there is a stealth mover, it's her. Croatia's own Tijana Korent will go after her. She was the 4th best in qualification. The same difficulty of 4.2 volts as Kiselev. Then we'll see Klara Petekova, who had 3.6 degree of difficulty volts in the preliminary round. Martin of Great Britain, a 4.6 and a 3.8. So we anticipate that Abigail Martin's first vault will be the most difficult one that we see in the first half of the competition. Then we'll go to the second half of the final, and that's where Colleen de Viar will come into play, the European champion, with what we anticipate being handsomely the most difficult vault of the final by around 8/10 of a mark. It could come down to really very narrow margins in terms of getting onto the podium in this final.
Cure nam se I dalje zagrijavaju, dakle Tjasa, Klara, Abigail, a velikim
There's no
pljeskom
doubt
možemo još
the
jednom
favourite
pozdraviti
for
Tijanu
the crown
Korent.
is obviously the French gymnast, 23-year-old Colleen de Viar.
Koja nam se priprema I prikazat će svu raskoš svog talenta. Tina, da se kratko osvrnemo na ono što si rekla prošle godine, dakle to je jedno iznenađenje, u kvalifikacijama se išlo na sigurnu izvedbu, a onda u finalu nova vježba, novi elementi. Koliko je to teško jednoj gimnastičarki?
Pa gimnastičari su naviknuti na takav sistem natjecanja I to je za njih normalno, ali ono najteže je što se ide od nule. Tako da ako si ušao I s dobrom ocjenom ti to opet moraš sve ponoviti. Isto tako ako si malo zaribao u kvalifikacijama, evo šanse ili da riskiraš pa ideš do medalje,
Preparation.
ili da si, ako si stvarno
And then we're
među
on to this
najboljima
women's
da samo
vault
rutinski
final.
odradiš svoje skokove I to je to.
Evo gledamo sve ove elemente, bile ovo Tijana Korent, dajte još jednom veliki pljesak da se pripremi I da dobro uđe u ovo finale koje je pred nama, dakle finale ženskog preskoka. Ono što nas još čeka dalje, čisto da znate organizirati si ovo lijepo poslije podne, finale konja s hvataljkama, pa finale u dvovisinskim ručama, te na kraju finale u ručama. Muški se natječu u konju s hvataljkama I ručama, a dame evo u preskoku te u dvovisinskim ručama. To je ono što nas čeka, a prije svega, dakle, žensko finale preskoka. Tjasa, Tijana, Klara I Abigail polako, čini mi se, završavaju ovo svoje zagrijavanje.
Tako je, sve su preskočile po 2 puta I time je zagrijavanje završeno I molimo da počnete s natjecanjem. Warm-up is over, please start the competition.
The warm-ups have been completed. It is time to begin this women's vault final.
Prva nastupa
Sasha Kiselev, first to go.
First finalist representing Slovenia, Tjasa Kiselev.
6th best in qualification, but absolutely with the potential, the 30-year-old, to get a place on the podium because her execution scores were lower than they customarily are. Well, just a little awkward in the landing and not enormously strong in terms of the form in flight. But an 8.0 for execution for that vault, the first vault in qualification. Now what is interesting is that she posted 2 4.6 difficulty vaults in the preliminary round. She's clearly upgraded by 4/10 with the Yurchenko 1.5, which is typical for her.
da će sad to odraditi. Uz jednu malu greškicu u doskoku spašavala je
Form-wise, it's not the cleanest and clearest, but it does have extra difficulty, and there aren't many vaulting with anything in excess of 4.2 in this final. Fresh from winning the gold medal in Antalya last weekend for her 5th World Cup title and her 25th medal overall. So there we go, 13.1. She is up by 9/10 from her first vaulting qualification. And that's exactly as I was mentioning earlier, the potential that Kiselev has to be the stealth mover in the final. She's living up to that pre-match billing. Second vault coming up. That's a good account, a really good account from Jasha Kiselev of Slovenia. The gymnast who made the top 5 at the European Championships 3 years ago. She made the Mediterranean Games vault final as well in 2022.
21 medals on the World Cup circuit, and she finished 5th on the vault at the 2021 European Championships.
The handspring front tuck full, the second vault, very central, well performed. It's another 4.2 difficulty vault.
Stigla je I ocjena za Tjašu, a finale kreće dalje.
12.883 the total score, so that is a gain of about half a mark from the preliminary stage. She's absolutely in play now. We go to Tijana Korent of Croatia.
Tijana Korent.
She turns 35 in a couple of weeks' time. Big step forward as she lands, the veteran Tijana Korent. Amazing to think that about a month after she competed in Osijek last year, she then went on to judge the women's floor final at the European Youth Olympic Festival. This is somebody who is doing something highly unusual, combining an elite career in gymnastics with an elite career in judging gymnastics. She uses the same handspring front tuck full that we saw from Tjaša Kiselev as the second vault. What she will see is a lower execution score, one imagines, for that rather sizable lunge forwards. 12.566. So it is a tenth lower than Kiselev. And she continues with a 4.2 difficulty vault. So Tjaša Kiselev has got the upper hand by 4/10 of difficulty when one compares those two Yurchenko family vaults that they executed. Let's have a look back at it again. This is the full twisting variety. As I'm sure many of you know, the landing facing the table versus the landing facing away, the latter of which carries an extra 4/10 of difficulty. Super ambassador for the sport, Tijana Korent. Has a very interesting professional life away from gymnastics. She is a qualified accountant. Tijana Korent producing the numbers in all aspects. 12.683. She moves into second position.
Mi nastavljamo finale sa
Congratulations to Klára Petekova of the Czech Republic on her qualification for a first ever World Challenge Cup final. She was 12th on vault in Paris at the World Challenge Cup last year. And she has been a national medalist on vault. Klára Petekova. She has got lower level difficulty than the first two gymnasts we've seen. Her focus at the moment is on the cleanliness of those vaults, and that was neatly performed.
Pa izgledalo je lijepo s malom greškicom u doskoku, ali naime ovo je težinski malo slabiji skok od prve dvije natjecateljice, tako da će ocjena vjerojatno biti u skladu s tim. Ali sve je korektno izvedeno, mala greškica u doskoku, mislim da će ocjena biti kako treba.
8.933 execution from the preliminary stage.
Klára Petekova odradila je svoj prvi skok. Sad drugi, pozdravite i nju slobodno velikim pljeskom.
She's from Šumperk in Olomouc in the northeast of the country. 12.366 is just a fraction down from qualification, but she has got the chance to push up the aggregate score with this second vault. That was nicely done too. Good first final there from Klára Petekova. Slightly over-rotated, making a big step forwards, but she can be very pleased with the account she's given of herself on this big occasion. It's a big crowd here in Osijek.
Opet mala greškica u doskoku, ali naravno taj doskok je uvijek najteže iskontrolirati, tako da je to i očekivana greškica, ali opet težinski je slabiji, malo skok i ocjena će opet biti u skladu s tim. Naime, cura u kvalifikacijama i nije ništa mijenjala, ocjene će biti otprilike onako kao i kvalifikacijama.
Ocjene su stigle, a vi ako ste mudri i pametni slušat ćete Tinu koja je sve to dobro ocijenila i procijenila. Stigla je i završna ocjena za Kláru Petekovu, za sada na trećem mjestu. Pozdravite u velikim pljeskom.
12.266, so she's up from qualification for that second vault.
Slijedi nam predstavnica Velike Britanije. The next finalist representing Great Britain,
Abigail Martin of Great Britain. Third best performer in qualification. A powerful attempt on the Yurchenko 1.5 from Abigail Martin. That's the second 4.6 degree of difficulty vault we've seen. And that for a gymnast who's not yet 16, the aim will be to turn that into the double twisting Yurchenko over the next little while when all is safe and ready.
Greškica, ali nagradit će se za to što skok ima jednu težinu i kakva god izvedba bila, bit će kako treba. Opet kad se te dvije ocjene izvedbe i težina zbroje, bit će ocjena dobra. Ona naime imala treću ocjenu u kvalifikacijama i pričekat ćemo drugi skok, ali to će otprilike, kvalifikacije su bile oko 12.900 prosjek, tako da vjerujem nakon nekih sada
this score comes in of 13.266 for Martin, which is down a fraction from qualification. I neglected to mention that Klára Petekova has improved upon her performance from the preliminary round, and that's always a great accomplishment when a senior debutant in a final manages to do that. So congratulations to her. Well performed second vault from her. The handspring front tuck. Second vault from Abigail Martin of Great Britain.
Završila je svoj nastup na svjetskom gimnastičarskom kupu u Osijeku. Pozdravite ju velikim pljeskom. Prve listice su za nama, a pred nama iduće 4 finalistice.
Handspring
koje sada
front
također imaju na
pike
raspolaganju
vault.
2 skoka za zagrijavanje.
Carries with it
Now the second group
3.8
of
degree
four
of difficulty.
finalists will have one touch warm up and they can do 2 vaults each. You may
Didn't
start
get a
warming
great
up.
deal in terms of height.
Tina, da čujemo malo Abigail, drugi skok, kakav je bio?
Clear issues
Pa
with the
drugi
block.
skok je velika razlika u početnoj ocjeni,
looking at
znači
the
bio je
arm
puno
position.
lakši i izvedba je bila lošija, tako da je
She
ocjena
did well to
12.400
get some stability on that. It
velika
wasn't
i
the most
opet smo
comfortable
došli na otprilike
looking
istu
vault.
ocjenu kao u kvalifikacijama i mislim da sutkinje stvarno
She
jedan
does
dobar
go into
kriterij
second
za
place,
žestost.
12.833, 12.4 for the second vault.
Na drugom mjestu.
Have to really congratulate Abigail Martin for getting the stability of landing that she managed to there.
Situaciju u ukupnom poretku u finalu
And that means she
ženskog preskoka.
surpasses Tiana Korent.
Tina, čini mi se u
Kiselev
prvom
still
skoku
leads.
svi nekako idu na ruke,
So that is
onda
the
u drugom
halfway
skoku
standings.
idu na noge, je li to uobičajeno ili su to samo jednostavno takvi elementi. Dakle, evo sada smo vidjeli, prvo se kreće rukama, a kada je drugi skok, onda se prvo kreće s nogom.
Tako je, to su one faze
Now we have
preskoka
to
koje
come
sam govorila,
Colleen
naime, više brzine,
Devia.
sile, onima kojima to ide postigne se ako prvo uletimo u rondat na dasku, odnosno to što vi vidite s rukama što taknu strunjačicu i dobiju puno više sile kasnije za rotirat se. Naime, drugi skok ide iz zaleta i tu morate biti motorički onako puno više dominantniji, eksplozivniji da bi te skokove dobro izveli. Ali zapravo svaka prava preskokašica mora biti eksplozivna.
Champion of Europe, the favourite to win this, 13.883. The qualification score, and the leading score at the moment is 12.883.
Finalistice da je nekako najviše problema bilo upravo u doskocima, dakle ovome na kraju, kao da svi elementi kada se odrade malo onako u glavi zaboraviš taj doskok, pa ajde odradit ću njega nekako usput, a on jako utječe na oči.
Twice the champion of Europe, the hugely experienced Colleen Devia.
Malo veću greškicu su doskoci put naprijed. Naime, mi doskačemo na slijepo i jako je te doskoke teško ukopati, ono da se ne maknemo. A svi doskoci gdje smo okrenuti, rotirani natrag, njih je malo
Colleen Devia gets onto the podium, as we expect she will, then it will be her 10th World Cup medal, as we have a look there at Julia Weissenhofer of Liechtenstein, who's done brilliantly to qualify for this
Kao
final.
što smo već rekli, mali koračić 0.1, veći 0.3, koliko god napravite koraka, ne padnete 0.8, puno se sve kažnjava, tako da mora
We will see Greta Moya of Hungary and Patricia Makovitskova to complete this final.
Koje gimnastičari i gimnastičarke dobro poznaju. Od malih nogu, od druge, treće godine su u dvoranama, bave se ovime i onda dođu pred ovu divnu publiku koja ih sve pozdravi velikim pljeskom. Zaista više od 100 sportaša iz cijelog svijeta ovih nekoliko dana u Osijeku i vjerujem da se svi zaista odlično osjećaju i da se Osijek pokazaju i dokazao još jednom kao odličnim domaćinom.
I evo upravo su se zagrijale i sljedeće 4 natjecateljice, pa možemo nastaviti sa finalom. Warm-up is over, please continue the competition.
Now the quality of the first vault from Colleen Devia gives her the potential to run away with this.
Colleen Devia.
If she can execute it truly, then it could be the job done and dusted. France's Colleen Devia, the reigning European champion and the top performer in qualification. Well, that's the end of that then. What a good first vault. What a good first vault from Colleen Devia. It is a very difficult vault. Handspring front layout, 1.5 twists. She gets real height. The central line is good.
s malim koračićem u doskoku.
This is very fine gymnastics from a veteran,
Najveća ocena
a young
za
veteran
sada
to boot.
I mislim da je ona i po kvalifikacijama realno, ako gledamo, i najveći favorit ovdje na preskoku.
A sad ću reći i još što to potvrđuje, naime...
Now the scoring qualification was 14.566, that's consistent work, 14.5 in the final. Just to remind you that 12.833 is the leading score so far, so it's safe to say there's a little margin for error here with this second vault. And her second vault in qualification carried a 4.4 difficulty. And that will unquestionably put Colleen de Villar comfortably into the gold medal position with 3 to go in this women's vault final.
I sad ću još jednom ponoviti, dakle, dvostruka europska prvakinja, a osim ta dva europska
reigning
zlata,
European champion,
preskoku osvojila je europsku srebrnu medalju 2019. te svjetsku brončanu 2022. Također je nositeljica aktualne svjetske ekipne bronce iz Antwerpena 2023.
It's a bit of a departure from previous campaigns for Colleen de Villar, going to the Sukahara family, away from Yurchenko vaulting for the second.
European silver medal on vault in 2019 and the world bronze medal in 2022.
Slightly jarred landing, little hiked, but it's well performed.
Bronze medalist and the 2018 European team silver medalist.
13.7, well up from anything we've seen so far. 12.9 for the second vault is a little down from qualification. But she's comfortably in the gold medal position, almost a mark ahead of Chasha Kiselev.
Tako je. I nastavljamo s predstavnicom Liechtensteina.
To Julia Weissenhofer of Liechtenstein, the 16-year-old from Eschen in the north of the country, with its population of 4,500, the fourth largest settlement in one of Europe's smallest nations. Congratulations to her on her debut in a final, and unfortunately she's not quite there with the landing. But you know what, it's a big milestone to get into the final, to be on this sort of stage. She's still so young.
Tako je, ovo je službeno, možemo reći,
just a little over as she comes out of the pike position. Sukahara pike.
Kad su ispred tebe evropska prvakinja i kad su svi dobro odradili,
and has a
ovako imati jedan kick, ali
value of
to je sport, to je
3.4.
gimnastika, jednostavno morate se digniti, doći na zalet, digniti ruku i odraditi skok kako treba,
naturally causing her to
i sve iz
bounce
početka,
backwards.
tako da evo, možete još jednim velikim pljeskom malo pobodriti.
She's the first woman to represent her country internationally. That happened at the European Youth Olympic Festival and at the Junior European Championships in 2022. 11.133 for the first vault. They are justifiably very proud of her in Liechtenstein. She competes a lot at the Swiss junior national level, where she was fourth on vault last year at the Swiss Junior National Championships. And quite a lot of sports organisations in Switzerland compete, or rather in Liechtenstein compete in Switzerland, such as FC Vaduz, the main football team in Liechtenstein. That's better, well done. Julia Weissenhofer, another piked vault. More secure, and actually with a more difficult vault. Congratulations to Julia Weissenhofer of Liechtenstein, trailblazer for her country.
i mislim da je to mlada cura koja može biti samo čast biti sa ovakvim
That's the
velikim
handspring
imenima u
front
finalu i
pike
da
vault.
može
And
biti
whereas with
zadovoljna,
the
a pogotovo
first
kad je
vault,
ovaj
she
drugi skok malo popravila
probably
dojam.
held on to her pike position just a little too long. The judgment of coming out of the pike was sound in that second vault.
Još dva nastupa nas čekaju u finalu ženskog
A nice
preskoka.
position in the air. .466, exactly the same as qualification. 11.799, the total score for Julia Weissenhofer.
Evo nam i poretka za sada, a vidite dolje tko će sada
So it
doći
is
na
Devia,
preskok.
Kiselev, Martin,
Slijedi
1, 2 and 3. We have 2 to
Mađarske.
go. This
The
is
next
Greta
finalist
Moya
representing
of Hungary.
Greta Mayer.
To the first vault of Greta Moya of Hungary. Very experienced vaulter, and that's a secure beginning from her. Now her score in qualification was 13 exactly, and that would be good enough to put her into the silver medal position if she can match it in this final. Let's have a look back at this opening vault from her. Good body position in the air, enabling a very well-maintained landing.
Ajmo o samom skoku, što je dakle izvela, što je
So
napravila.
we see from her the same vault that we saw from Colleen de Viau's, the second vault. That's the full twisting Tsukahara, but it was performed with extra
Vrlo
mustard.
zadovoljna nakon prvog nastupa Greta Mayer, sada slijedi njen drugi, pozdravite ju pljeskom prije
13.366,
njega.
that's up from qualification. Nice, powerful, secure vault that. There's your top 3 thus far. Moya could well go into second place though. Oh, absolutely sticks that. The Yurchenko layout vault. 3.6 degree of difficulty. It's not comparable difficulty-wise to the first vault, but in terms of the tidiness of it, that is a very good case made. It was, unsurprisingly, her better executed vault in qualification.
Ovo je naime jedan puno jednostavniji skok, ali je bio izveden lijepo, čisto, bez puno odbitka,
That is
tako
as
da
pretty as a
mislim
picture in terms of a
sveukupno da je
landing.
ovo sigurno drugo mjesto.
Greta Mayer, njen
And
nastup
kudos
gledate
as well
sada.
to
Tina, molim da
whoever
još
was
malo
shooting
nam
that from
pojasni što smo
overhead,
dakle
because
to
they
točno
captured it
vidjeli,
beautifully.
što je
Lovely
Greta
camera work.
napravila.
Greta je napravila onaj naš poznati ulaz, vi bi ga rekli rukama, također rondat, premet i pruženi salto, lijepo, čisto, bit će
That
jako
is as
malo
central as a
odbitka.
vault gets in terms of its landing position.
Sve je rekla Tina.
It's no surprise because we are looking at the national champion,
Greta Mayer iz Mađarske na drugom
and she
mjestu.
goes easily into second place, 13.149, a 12.933 for the second vault. So Greta Moya passes ahead of Chasha Kiselev, who's jumped all the way up from 6th to 3rd, and we have one gymnast to go.
A posljednja finalistica dolazi nam iz
Patricija
Češke.
Makovičkova
The eighth
of the Czech
finalist
Republic.
representing the Czech Republic, Patricija Makovičkova.
The 17-year-old is from Žatec in the northwest of the Czech Republic, very different part of the country from her teammate Klára Petekova, who performed earlier. She's from reasonably close to Prague. Some interesting work there from Makovičkova. It's the first handspring front pike half that we've seen.
Pa bilo je jako visoko, lijepo i mislim da je pokušala hvatat taj savršeni doskok.
It's a good pike position. That's in the half the turn of the body to gain extra difficulty tenths. Takes it to a 4.0 compared to the 3.8 for a handspring front pike.
Stigla nam je ocjena
12.5, virtually the same as qualification, just down by a few hundredths.
Pozdravite ju velikim pljeskom.
She's yet to compete at World Championship level, Makovickova, but she has made World Cup finals before. She's spoken with great affection for her idol Vera Chaslavska, the 1964 and 1968 Olympic all-around champion. And she has really produced some engaging work, Patrycja Makovickova. We see here a young gymnast who is a little further on in terms of her international experience than some of the other very young new seniors in this final, and perhaps a little more competition readiness from Makovickova.
Super skok koji je zapravo ono što sam vam pričala jako sličan prvome, ali smo imali drugu fazu ulaska.
That's the Omiljanchik vault,
Isti skok, premet
the round off half on front pike off.
Ukopala, međutim mislim da će
Oksana Omiljanchik, I'm sure many of you know, a familiar figure not just as a gymnast but as an international judge. It's a tight pike position, isn't it?
Visina je jako bitna, visina, dinamika skoka, otvaranje,
Round off half on, then the
samo
front
naglašavanje položaja.
to conclude the vault, and well landed too. That's very nice. Unusual to see a gymnast with two 4.0 difficulty vaults. It's quite a strange combination. 12.6, 12.7 for vault number 2. She's in 6th position. There are the top 3. And it is Deviars by a sizable margin. Credit to Greta Meyer, who got as close as she could have done. The classified results in the women's vault competition in Osijek. Bronze goes to Čaša Kiselev of Slovenia, the silver medal won by Greta Meyer of Hungary, and the reigning European champion Pauline Deviard of France wins the gold medal. Great Britain's Abigail Martin getting very close by a matter of hundredths away from besting Kiselev. And in characteristically efficient Osijek style, we will go straight from those classified results into the victory ceremony. Osijek contains the shortest walk that any gymnast has to take to get to the podium. They just hop up off the comfy chairs and go straight to take their place on the podium. And Colin Deviard is helping out Čaša Kiselev, who's missing her shoes. She's got them now. If anything's going to make you struggle to tie your laces, it's the sight of those gentlemen marching past you, heralding the beginning of the victory ceremony. But she's kept her cool nicely there, has Čaša Kiselev. Come on, Greta Meyer. Never in doubt.
The medals will be presented by Mr. Ivan Radić, Mayor of Osijek.
Confirmation that not only do artistic gymnasts do everything better than the rest of us, they can even put their shoes on more quickly than we can.
Representing Slovenia, Čaša Kiselev.
Čaša Kiselev of Slovenia is the bronze medalist. Following on from her gold medal a week ago in Antalya, she has now 26 World Cup honours. Veteran vaulter, still delivering.
Drugo mjesto je srebrna medalja predstavnica Mađarske. In the second place, winning the silver medal representing Hungary, Greta Meyer.
Greta Meyer of Hungary is the silver medalist. Two very nicely performed vaults from her. twisting Tsukahara, the highlight of her campaign.
Prvo mjesto i zlatna medalja predstavnica Francuske. In the first place,
Frankly,
winning the gold medal,
from the
representing
moment
France,
that she
Colline
landed the
Deviat.
first vault successfully, it seemed to be a case of job done for the champion of Europe, Colline Deviat. The French gymnast then producing some Tsukahara vaulting for her second vault, indicating a departure and a change ahead of the big Olympic year.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're able to,
Colline
please
Deviat
stand
is
for
the
the
champion.
national anthem of France.
The utterly iconic sound of La Marseillaise, written by Claude-Joseph Rouget de Lille in 1792. Played in honour of Colline Deviat, not for the first time in her illustrious career. She's joined by her fellow medalists in the women's vault competition in Osijek.
Ovdje imamo nastupe čak dva naša reprezentativca. Jedan od njih je Filip Ude. A drugi je